Hey there guys, my name is Marcus, and in this video I'm going to compare VGT with SPY. Both are great ETFs, but I think one of them is a little bit better. I'm really excited to show you which one it is. Also, if you know some good ETFs that you are interested in and you want me to create comparison videos on them, share it down below in the comments and I'll be really happy to do that. Also, I created a course on how we can make money with ETFs, what are some best dividend ETFs that are like good for investing. I'm analyzing and showing a lot there, so definitely check the course down below in the description. Without further ado, let's start. Now when we come here and we are right here in ETF.com and we're comparing VGT with SPY. First thing first, issuer is different. For VGT is Vanguard, for SPY is State Street Global Advisors. Many times people prefer more Vanguard. Expense ratio is really similar. You see 0.10% for VGT comparing to SPY 0.09%. Assets under management, I can really say that, like, yes, VGT is a little bit more expensive, but for $10,000 invested, you would pay $10 fee. For $10,000 invested in SPY, you would pay $9 fee. Asset under management, 55 billion. Asset under management, 426 billion. And here we see the underlying index. This is the first big difference. Underlying index for VGT is Information Technology Market. Comparing to SPY is SP 500. And you see the number of holdings 508. Comparing to number of holdings 344. So we could say that SPY is more diversified. But we will see, because we are going to check the sectors and also what kind of stocks are there, right? So when we scroll down below and we can see the performance here, we can see that VGT was overperforming SPY by 1 month, few percent, 3 months 2, 1 year 2, and 3 years 2. So that's something that we can clearly see here. Now, when we go scroll down below, we can see the sectors here. And what we can find is that for VGT, software, IT services, computer, phones, household, semiconductors combined make like, what is that? 88%, and like 90%, these three segments. On the other hand, when we look on SPY, we see technology 35%, consumer nearly 15%, financials 13%, healthcare 13%, industrial 8%. So we can even see that SPY is more diversified by sectors. But is it true when we look on the stocks? So let's check the stocks here. And bang, this is the one disadvantage that I personally see, but it's not really disadvantage, it's preference. It's my preference to the SPY over VGT because of this thing, that when you look on VGT, you can clearly see that Apple and Microsoft Corporation got 37% of the whole ETF fund. So what does it mean? So imagine that you have ETF fund of 300, how many stocks are there? 344 stocks. And Apple and Microsoft Corporation of 344 stocks of your whole fund got 37%. And that's crazy. Now, if you love Apple, if you love Microsoft Corporation, which it is a good choice, but it's like up to you. This is why I don't invest to VGT, only because this is really risky for me, and I would rather put money into TQQQ over this personally. But it's me because I'm crazy in this regard. But yeah, on the other hand, with SPY, you see clearly that Microsoft Corporation 6.36, Apple 6%. And you can see clearly that when you check the total top weighting right here, look at this, 57% of the top total 10. And here in SPY is only 29.50%. See? So even that, this is like different. And this is something that you should definitely check out and be wary, right? So I would definitely recommend to compare this, and this is the biggest comparison, the most important comparison between these two. Let's check the fund overlap and VGT versus SPY, how much they are overlapping each other. So we can see that 22.3% of VGT 344 holdings are also in SPY. Okay. 14.9% of SPY 505 holdings are also in VGT. So they are not really overlapping. And when you check the overlap by weight, you see they are overlapping only 28%. And you can see also the overlap right here when we show entries. So they are overlapping in Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, kind of, Visa, Adobe Systems, MasterCard. Yeah, and this is like 0.6% overlap or something like that. So kind of low. But okay, there is an overlap, not a huge one. So we could see that even they are quite different. And there's like completely up to you what is your risk reward strategy and what you can do. And another thing that I want to show you is when we're gonna compare VGT dividend yield comparing to SPY. And look at this. When we compare, this is a VGT comparing to SPY. SPY was overperforming a VGT much more. So you can see clearly that 1.52, 1.75, 2.04, 1.80, 2.03, 2.06. On the other hand, here 1.28, 1.41, 1.29, 1.11, 0.82. So this is another thing. And to summarize this whole video, because we are going to the end, VGT expense ratio is only a little bit lower comparing to SPY. Assets under management are much bigger on SPY comparing to VGT. When we look on the underlying index, we see that's SP 500 comparing to information and technology market for VGT. Expense ratio 0.09 comparing to 0.10, as I mentioned. Sometimes VGT was overperforming SPY. I really believe that's because the heavy holdings of Apple and Microsoft Corporation. Now, it's an advantage and disadvantage at the same time. If Apple and Microsoft Corporation is growing, you're winning hard. But if it's not, yabba dabba do, you know, what you can do. and this is where we're in right now. So you see that SPY is more diversified with all the technology, consumer, financials, healthcare, industrials. On the other hand, with VGT, if something happens with Apple, with Microsoft Corporation, it would hurt the whole ETF hard. On the other hand, if something would happen with Microsoft, Apple, and SPY, it wouldn't hurt that badly. So it's like up to you what kind of strategy you want to do. Now, on the other hand, when we come here to overlapping, they are not like some ETFs are overlapping by 50, 60, 70%, right? 50%. Here it's only 28%. And you could even see a low percentage of holdings that overlap is not that huge. And that's pretty much it. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. If you can have any questions, ask me down in the comments. I'll be really happy to help you, provide you some feedback, guidance, you know how it goes. And yeah, have a great day and goodbye. See ya.